Hello, it's Rebecca and today is another book review day, and it is my first book review of 2016, and it is also my first book for the 2016 BookaShelf Reading Challenge, which is a challenge put together by myself and Hannah over at Shelf Restraint, and it's a challenge to read 26 books coming from different categories over the next year. I will link down below to a list of the different categories, so if you want to join in you can. And the first book that I have read for this challenge is for the category of N. They're all alphabetized, the categories. N, a book with your name in the title. So I have been reading The Real Rebecca by Anna Carey. Now I know this isn't how my name is spelled. I've got an H on the end here, but it sounds the same, even though it doesn't look the same. And although I did find a couple of books with Rebecca spelled the way I spell it, they were quite difficult to get hold of, so I thought, well, surely this should be okay. This is the first book in a series. I found a book at work in the series called Rebecca Rocks, and that's the one I wanted to read, and then I realised that this was the first one, so this is the one I went for. I may read the others at a later stage. Anyway, we'll do what I normally do, read the blurb and then talk about the book. My name is Rebecca Rafferty, and my mother has ruined my life again. I didn't mind her writing boring books for grown-ups, but now she's written one about an awful girl my age, and everyone thinks it's me, including the boy who delivers our newspaper, aka Paperboy, aka the most gorgeous boy in the whole world. Oh, the shame. And if that wasn't awful enough, the biggest pain in my class wants to use my fame to get herself on the reality show My Big Birthday Bash. I've just got to show everyone the real Rebecca. But how? So this is a teen book, and the yellow label, I borrowed this from the library obviously, the yellow label means that it's younger teens, and you can certainly tell this is for kind of 11, maybe even 12 to 14 years old. This is a very young book. I do read a lot of teen literature, but this one certainly was for the younger reader. Not to say that it wasn't any good, but I didn't personally enjoy it as much as other teen books that I've read, because it was aimed for a younger audience and written for young girls kind of in this situation. So it's set in Ireland, and the main character, Rebecca, is, I'm going to say, I think she's about 16, but she may be a little bit younger. I can't remember. And she's got an older sister, Rachel. And their mother is an author, and she's written books. And the kids have been okay with it until she writes a book about two sisters, similar ages to Rachel and Rebecca. And they didn't know anything about it until they go to a big launch party where there's people taking their pictures, and once this happened, everyone at school finds out. And for anybody, any young person kind of going through puberty, growing up, you just want an easy life. There's always going to be people laughing at you or picking on you or bullying you for various different things. And as your body's changing and your mind's changing, you just want a really simple life and to kind of go through with blinkers on, head down, until you've reached the other side. For Rebecca, this can't happen. She's got girls in her class. She goes to an all-girls school, by the way. She's got a girl in her class who only wants to be her friend to get on the equivalent of My Super Sweet 16 television show, where the television cameras come and you have a really outlandish, extravagant birthday party. And Rebecca's got her own friends and her own life, and she doesn't want to be involved in it. Like I say, she just wants to go through nice and quiet and get on with life. And being at an all-girls school, she doesn't really have that much experience with boys. And they have a paperboy who comes round every Friday to pick up the money that they owe for their newspapers for that week. And she falls in love with him, and she has a big crush on him, and she gets very excited every Friday when there's a knock at the door and she runs down to give him his money. And it's quite cute, and I remember feeling like that when you have a crush on somebody and you don't know what to talk about and you're all nervous and all butterflies and everything. And like I say, this book, the age that it's aimed at, it covers all things very, very well. It covers all sorts of emotions and the way that you're feeling about friends and school and parents and siblings and all that kind of stuff. And in order to prove that she isn't this character in her mum's book, Rebecca and her friends start a band. And surprisingly, considering that they're not particularly musical, they all seem to manage to work together, and they go to a battle of the bands, and this is her way of proving who is the real Rebecca, not the one in the book that everybody seems to think that the mother has been writing specifically about her children's lives, but she is a completely different girl. And it was fairly easy to read, fairly enjoyable, in as much as I could understand where everything was coming from, but it wasn't written for my age group. I'm at least twice as old as the character in this book. But I do want to read the other books. I want to read Rebecca Rocks, just because I like that title. I think that's the third book in the series. So I will eventually get around to reading these. It was fun. It was silly in some places. It wasn't really laugh out loud funny, but like I say, I can get myself inside the head of this girl being embarrassed at school and having strange friends and a crush on this boy whose name we never find out. He's just known as Paperboy, which is quite exciting. I do want to know who this boy is. So yeah, if you are of a younger mindset, or you want to be taken back into a time of high school and growing up, not that anyone would really want to, because it was a strange time, but read this book. It's quite good, it's quite funny, and yeah, and I quite liked it. So if you would like to hear any of my other book reviews, then please subscribe to my channel. I put new videos out every time I've read a book. I occasionally give writing advice and talk about other writing things, my own books and various bits of writerly stuff. So if you're interested in reading and or writing, then please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Have a good day. Bye bye.